We believe that you can describe every game quite succinctly and simply with 3 words. So, Joy, here we go on a Monday. Here we go. 3-word game, NFL. Giants, Patriots, Brady with anyone. 5 different people have led the Patriots in receiving this season, including AB, who's no longer a Patriot. 13 different players have a reception this year. Everybody in this league loses people and complains, oh, we can't win. But well-coached teams, Saints, Carolina, and New England, overcome injuries, overcome backups. And Brady, 75 touchdown passes in his career to different receivers. Nobody in the league has had more of a mishmash of parts to work with, and they're undefeated. Panthers, Bucks. See ya, Cam. They're now 7-2 when Cam doesn't play in his career, and 4-0 this year. I mean, listen, Kyle Allen isn't even your ideal backup. He wasn't a college football star. But I've said this for years. I like their defenses under Ron Rivera every year. Once again, their defense is good. Now they have a star running back. Their receivers are talented. A story this weekend that Carolina may not give the job back to Cam. I think Cam's distracted. I think he is a great athlete who now can't be as athletic thanks to injuries. And I think if you're Carolina, it's about winning. Good luck unseating Kyle Allen, who I don't think's a world-class talent. But, man, do you break this puppy up? It's hard enough to win in the league. If you got a 6-game winning streak, you're gonna start over at quarterback? I don't care who it is. Unless it's Brady, I don't think I'd make a move. Seahawks, Browns, Baker, turnover maker. Leads the NFL in interceptions with 12. He leads the NFL in turnovers with 13. His 11 picks through 6 games are the most since the mid-'80s in Cleveland. And by the way, the Browns are 5-1 when Baker doesn't throw a pick. They're 4-10 when he does. And I don't think picks are, Sam Darnold had a pick yesterday, a bad throw, and they won. But I do think Baker tends to get a little ahead of himself. I think he's feeling himself, all those national commercials. I think he's got weapons. He's taking risks he doesn't need to. One of those picks wasn't his fault. 2 were. But the difference in that game yesterday was Baker Mayfield's interceptions, because Cleveland was every bit as good and better the first 3 quarters of that football game. Bengals, Ravens, best in worst. This division's terrible. The 8 wins for the AFC North are the fewest in any division in football. The Ravens are 4-2. The rest of the division is 4-14. Now, I will say this about Baltimore. They do have what I believe to be a formula. I think it can be limited, but when I watch the Ravens play, I think they tend to play well with a lead. They play well when they have a lead. They can eat the clock, run the ball. They've got some nice, big, tight end weapons for Lamar Jackson. I think it's a limited team, but you got to give the staff credit. They know what they are. They keep pounding, trusting the process, what they are, and right now they lead the division by 2 games. Eagles, Vikings. You like that? Yeah, Kirk Cousins, you like that. He was great, 22 of 29. Passer rating, 138. This is sort of odd. He has 21 career touchdown passes against Philadelphia. That is not only the most of any team, it's almost double second best. Now, he used to quarterback in Washington, so he kind of ate up on the Eagles. Listen, this was also a mismatch issue, that the receivers and the weapons for Minnesota are just incredible. And Philadelphia, Sidney Jones at corner, they're a mess. Trent Dilfer said it earlier. What's Philadelphia great at? It's a good question. I like Carson Wentz, but right now they're not great at anything. They get pressure on the quarterback, but they don't get sacks. And yesterday that was a problem. Redskins, Dolphins. Last place, Finn-ish. Okay, that's bad. They've lost 8 straight games dating back to last year. Could I not make the argument? Their last burst, everything basically, offense, defense, they're last in everything. I'll make this argument, though. They play hard. They're competitive yesterday, and they lost. That's what I want. Because if Tua is the guy, and I think Tua is the draft pick, I don't think you can pick anybody in college football that will make an immediate impact than Tua, right? Alabama quarterback. What you want is a team that's playing their butt off, meaning guys are still buying into the plan even though they're terrible.
Well, players never tank. That doesn't make any sense. What's the benefit of them purposely playing bad? They might not even be on the team next year. Every piece of tape that you put out there is part of your resume. So players never tank, but it's just the overall mentality of the organization that seeps down into it. It's negative.
A win could have cost them Tua. Excellent loss. Chiefs, Texans. No sacks again. Second straight game, Deshaun Watson wasn't sacked. He is 7-0 in games with one or fewer sacks, and his passer rating's 118. This is why we defended Bill O'Brien getting Laramie Tunsil. I don't care about college players. I care about my asset who's getting his blank kicked every week. Now they have a left side of an offensive line. Now they have a semblance of a running game. And what do you know? Deshaun Watson's great. Sort of the way it works his entire career. Saints, Jags. Steady with Teddy. Gardner Minshew, worst game as a pro. You know what I like about this? Every Saints win has been 7 points or less. So there's a little stress here. And it's okay. They've played close games. I think their roster's fantastic. I think I missed on this defense. And Teddy Bridgewater listen, he's at this point in Drew Brees' career, you can make an argument the closest facsimile to him is Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Teddy is to a large point Drew Brees. Pocket guy, high IQ, very good distributor who struggles to throw the ball over 25 yards accurately, consistently. That's what Drew is. Falcons, Cardinals, just can't Quinn. Dan Quinn's in big trouble. This was two games. The first half, Arizona was on fire. The second half, Matt Ryan was on fire. But this is a team that is now awful on the road, 0-4, giving up 35 points. Dan Quinn's a defensive specialist. So if he's a defensive specialist, what happened to the defense? They were literally inept defensively in the first half. Matt Ryan had a tremendous second half, but they missed a PAT, so no overtime. 49ers, Rams, 78 yards passing. First time this year, Goff didn't have a touchdown. 7 points is the fewest points scored by a Sean McVay team at home. I do think some of this was a matchup problem, like the Philadelphia-Minnesota game. The front 6 and 7 for San Francisco is nasty, and the Rams had an injury on the offensive line, and it's an old and limited offensive line anyway. 78 passing yards. That's not great. Jets, Cowboys, Darnold, the difference. Pretty easy to figure out. When Sam plays, they're good. When Sam doesn't, they're not. For the record, USC is sub 500 since Darnold left, and the Jets collapsed without Sam Darnold. Now, it gets much tougher this weekend. He faces Bill Belichick, but he is a playmaker. He is not perfect. He throws interceptions. He makes mistakes. But I think the energy he brought to the table yesterday was palpable. The Jets had a very big first half. Now, the Jets get C.J. Mosley back. They get Herndon, the tight end, back. So I don't think they're going to beat New England. But after that, boy, there are a lot of winnable games on this schedule. Miami twice. I think they've got a Cincinnati game in here, a Baltimore game, so Pittsburgh game. A lot of winnable games for the Jets going forward. Titans, Broncos. Mile low Mariota. Now, he's been sacked 25 times this year, so that's tied for the most in the NFL. Their offensive line was supposed to be a strength. It's not. He's not accurate. I always felt he was the least verbal quarterback in the league at a verbal position. And Denver, by the way, is a pretty good bad team. I mean, if not for a really disputable call by the officials, they would have beaten the Bears at home and have a winning record. So some of it's that. He was benched for Ryan Tannehill yesterday, and it didn't get much better after that. Steelers, Chargers. Was watching baseball. Yeah, Game 2, ALCS, Yankees and the Astros. And Astros won, walk-off home run by Carlos Correa in the 11th. And, the series is tied at 1. Listen, if you give me the Yankees or Steelers-Chargers, Chargers are all beat up, and the Steelers were on their third-string quarterback. Steelers, by the way, led that game 24-0 heading into the fourth. So I just kind of moved on. I was watching baseball. Sorry about that. Lions-Packers tonight, Monday Night Football. Lions for real? actually won 4 straight against Green Bay. Devontae Adams is out. And if the Lions win, they would move into first place in the NFC North at 3-1-1. Interesting. Matt Patricia, hat on backwards guy, turned it around. Nothing but success. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.